What's good, everyone? Gonna be talking about Mawile. Mawile is pretty crazy. Obviously, given the high power levels in this hack, Mega Mawile definitely needed some buffs and stuff. If I had left it unchanged, it would be kind of not that good. Which sounds crazy. I mean, it would still be good because sucker punch and shit, but the point of the hack is to give everything a fresh little coat of paint and to make them all feel new and fun to use. So Mawile is no exception. Not to mention, there's an entire base form that was pretty garbage. So people might look at this and be like, what the hell, they lost huge power. Did you nerf Mawile? No, I did not. So I actually ended up doing the math to be exact. 188 base attack with sheer force is exactly equivalent to 105 base attack with huge power. If you don't believe me, I'll show you literally right now. So 105, all right, with a plus of adamant nature, that is 678 attack, okay? Meanwhile, 188, 522 times 1.3 from sheer force, 678. All right, 678 both times. There you go. It's identically as strong with sheer force. With hustle, Mega Mawile goes from 678 attack to, what is it, like 780 something? Hold on, let me actually just quickly confirm. I believe it's 522 times 1.5. 780 something, right? Yeah, 783. It's insanely powerful. You might be thinking, yeah, well, hustle's bad, bro, because you can miss. Well, first of all, even if I didn't change it, hustle's a great ability and people give it way too much shit. It's usually just given to shit. There's a reason I usually give it to shit Pokemon. Only decent Pokemon that I've ever gotten the ability hustle is like, what, fucking Dracozolt and Durant. Those are like the only decent hustle Pokemon that I can remember off the top of my head in real games. Because they know it's strong. Oh, and like Flapple is okay, I guess, but mostly just Dracozolt and Durant, okay? And those guys are absolute menaces with it. And they only have like 100-ish attack, which is incredible with hustle, but Mawile has 188. Make it Mawile. And there's tons of other really powerful hustle Pokemon in this hack. But my point is that I did buff hustle to a great extent, actually. So essentially what I've done is a bunch of new moves now no longer... Also, I should probably clarify. Well, first I'll say that a bunch of new moves straight up don't miss with hustle. However, they still get that giant 50% choice band boost from hustle, but they don't miss. So that's incredible, and I'll get to that in a second. Actually, quickly, I'll just say Smart Strike. Smart Strike is one of his best moves. Smart Strike plus priority moves. That's Mawile's best moves, okay, with hustle. Because Smart Strike is a 75 base power steel type move that cannot miss, and it gives you +1 accuracy, so you can use regular moves after Smart Strike and not miss anymore, which is super great. Ultimately, hustle is a little bit more limiting. So sheer force, for example, if you want to run like more coverage, then you might need sheer force to not miss with hustle, because hustle's a little bit overkill anyways. You don't need that boost a lot of the time. However, the benefit of hustle is that you also have intimidate pre-mega. So intimidate turns into hustle, while strong jaw turns into sheer force. Strong jaw and intimidate are incredible on base Mawile. I'll talk about base Mawile in a little bit, but base Mawile is an incredible Pokemon in its own right now, which is awesome, because before it was kind of just shit, obviously, which is why I got the Mega in the first place. But of course, this is a ROM hack where I'm making everything good. And in this hack, Megas kind of get their own, like, Megas are upgrades, but they're not better objectively, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of occasions where that base form is actually better, whether it be because you need to hold an item, or because it has different stats or different abilities or a different type or whatever it may be. There's a lot of situations where you can actually where you should be using the pre-mega or the base form over the mega, and Mawile is no exception, which I'll talk about. Not to mention, they're great until you get that Mega Stone either way. But I was going to say something about, oh yeah, you might be wondering why even bother removing huge power. What the hell? Like, Mawile was, why'd you remove that? Two reasons. Number one, Pokemon in this hack have every Pokemon besides Wonder Guard Pokemon basically have two amazing abilities that they can choose between, and they should actually be switching between. Not choose between. Sorry, that was an awkward. That's not wrong grammar, but I'm trying to say that every Pokemon has two abilities that you can actually switch between, and they're both really good. So you should be switching between them with the infinite usability capsule, which again you do have access to in this hack. So you can switch between sheer force and hustle, strong jaw, intimidate. Switch between those depending on the battle. One fight you might need intimidate, next fight you might need that strong jaw boost. One fight you might need the hustle power boost, next fight you don't need it, so you're on sheer force. One fight you might need intimidate, so you deal with hustle because you need intimidate, that kind of thing. So that's the logic, and so that's number one reason. Because there's no other ability that would be nearly as good for Mega Mawile. The only thing I considered was maybe like double intimidate, so it would be like strong jaw into huge power and then intimidate twice. But that's still kind of garbage. Like, it's not that good. You would just be running huge power most of the time. So I don't like that. I want Pokemon to have options. I want more strategy. I want people to be able to pick between two things. I want it to be difficult to pick between moves sometimes. That kind of thing. That adds nuance to the game. versus just Unga Bunga, I click whatever I want. You can still do that, especially with fucking Mawile of all Pokemon, but, you know, I want to add more room for strategy, so, especially in a ROM hack with, you know, good amount of difficulty. Back on topic with Hustle, okay? Also, I'll talk about all the other stuff. I mean, it's super tanky now. It has healing moves and shit, which is all great. But as for Hustle, yeah, Smart Strike is a staple move for sure. And then you have priority moves such as First Impression via TM, which cannot miss, which is incredible. First Impression via TM, as well as Sucker Punch, which cannot miss with Hustle, and Priority Stab Fairy Blow, which is a priority stab fairy type move, which is just as strong as Sucker Punch, although it does have less priority, but you know, you got 3 priority moves right there, and all 3 of those cannot miss. It's really good. Really, really good. And then, of course, Fairy Blow is at level 1 or 5 or whatever, you start with that, and then you get Sucker Punch TM later on, and then First Impression TM as well. Of course, you got Smart Strike, and then other Hustle moves. So Stomping Tantrum is a good coverage move that cannot miss with Hustle. And then you also have Punishment, and then later on you get Beat Up, which is actually a very good move because you have 188 base attack. So your Beat Up is 23 base power. I did the math. The formula is pretty simple. It's just divide by 10 and add 5. So you use the base attack. So for example, if you had a Nidoking on your team with 140 base attack, 141, whatever it is, that's a 19 base power Beat Up. You know, so say you have a bunch of 100 base power, 100 base attack Pokemon on your team, and then you have Mega Mawile, that's 23 plus 15 5 times. So 15 times 5 plus 24. That gets you a 99 base power Dark type move that cannot miss. That hits 6 times. That's, of course, assuming all your Pokemon are alive. But the point is, Beat Up is really good as well. So that's a great option. Flail and Reversal are a little bit situational, but they're still very good. Focus Punch cannot miss with Hustle. All of these moves I'm listing cannot miss with Hustle, by the way. Keep that in mind. So you still get that power boost reliably. Not to mention, you can also just use accuracy boosting stuff such as Home Claws, which actually boosts accuracy by 2 now. So you can use that with inaccurate moves. Although Mawile doesn't get that many, honestly, just stuff like Stone Edge and Power Whip. So it's not that good, but it's still a great option. It's stronger than Swords Dance actually with Hustle because of the way that the formula works. However, if you're using priority moves, then you may as well use Swords Dance because the accuracy boost doesn't matter with priority moves because, of course, those can't miss normally. So yeah, Focus Punch is great. That's 180 base power. And like Smart Strike, it can't miss, but it also gives you that +1 accuracy as well. So Focus Punch and Smart Strike both share that effect. So Focus Punch is incredible on Mawile as well. With like Sub, Sub, Focus Punch, something like that would be very good on a Hustle set. Beat Up, Punishment are incredible. Power Trip is buffed to give you +1 attack, and it can't miss with Hustle. However, it only has 3 PP. Still a great option, though, an incredible option. Raging Fury is a 50 base power fire type move that Mawile gets, that a bunch of other Pokemon get, of course. That essentially gives Mawile, it's a fire type power up punch, so it gives you +1 attack, 50 base power. However, if you move second, it doubles to 100 base power. And Mawile, Mega Mawile, it does have a better speed tier of 62, which actually goes pretty good with agility and some other stuff. But ultimately, it's still a slow Pokemon, relatively speaking. I would say if it was base Mawile, you can run Scarf and shit. And also, of course, it has tons of priority options. But yeah, Raging Fury is incredible, okay? That's a great move, double 200 base power, great coverage. Fire Fang is also there, obviously. You have tons of other great coverage I'll talk about, but I'm focusing on Hustle first because a lot of people don't know about the Hustle buffs because this is new stuff, so yeah. Lastly, you have Shadow Punch and Finishing Blow for Hustle. Shadow Punch is just a reliable 80 base power move, good ghost type coverage, can't miss. Finishing Blow comes from Fell Stinger, and it always crits just like First Impression does. So that is a great option, and you'll get +3 attack if you knock out the opponent with Finishing Blow, which can be really awesome with Power Trip and other stuff. Of course, you also have Swords Dance and Bulk Up for setup, but it's really overkill. You don't need to click that in-game. In competitive, yeah, it's good because you're a wall breaker, but in-game, you don't need to do that shit. You can just run attacks and utility. You don't need to set up really ever. It's kind of overkill. You could, especially with priority, to be honest. Like if you're running only priority moves, then you might want to get that Bulk Up or Swords Dance off, but regardless, yeah. Incredible. Mawile, base Mawile, is very usable. Very not usable. Usable is a harsh. Sounds like it's not good. It's great. It's better on some situations. For example, Intimidate, with like Assault Vest or something would be great. It's actually bulkier overall than Mega Mawile because it can hold an item. It has 10 less defense, special defense, but it still has. I mean, 65 SP is decent. Not good. It's okay. I would say slightly below average, which makes sense given that they're a tiny little fairy. 65 SP is a little bit poor, but you have great 115, 100 bulk, and the amazing Steel Fairy typing, which is great defensively. Super great resistances and immunities and stuff. And with Intimidate, you can become super tanky. And then obviously with Strong Jaw, your 128 base attack. Strong Jaw in general is great because you have access to Psychic Fangs, Crunch, and Jagged Fangs, which all become 128 base power moves. Jagged Fangs being a rock type version of Crunch, and then Psychic Fangs, of course, being the same as Crunch. All 3 of those moves are 85 with Strong Jaw 128. Then you have Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, and Poison Fang, which all become 113 base power with Strong Jaw. So those are great options. with Strong Jaw, of course. And you can easily just use your ability capsule for one boss fight. You might need that boosted Psychic Fangs or Crunch or Dragon Fangs or Fire Fang, whatever it is. Next fight, run Intimidate. You know, most of the time you'll be running Intimidate, but Strong Jaw is still an incredible boosting ability nonetheless. What else is there? Tons of great utility. So you have healing with Moonlight and Wish, and then you have a lot of stat dropping moves. So and also other utilities such as Parting Shot. Intimidate Parting Shot is incredible, especially on a slow Parting Shot on a Steel Fairy type. It's great. So that's incredible. Other utilities such as like Toxic Spikes, Fake Tears, Tearful Look, Tickle, Sweet Scent drops the opponent's special stats by 1. It's the opposite of Tickle, the special version of Tickle. Leer drops both the opponent's defenses by 1. Scary Face drops attack by 1 and speed by 2. All kinds of great stuff right there. Super sick, man. I love the changes from Mawile. And I really love how base Mawile is genuinely really good. Not to mention, like, Choice Band base Mawile with Strong Jaw is actually stronger, I believe. Let me actually quickly confirm that with math. 128 times 390, 390 times 1.5, 585. Yeah, by far. Even Life Orb actually might be, let me check. 507. Okay, so Life Orb, Mawile versus 188. Okay, so it's similar. The point is, base Mawile is not that much weaker with a boosting item. Of course, you know, Life Orb gives you recoil, and then Choice Band locks you in, but still good options nonetheless. Not to mention Strong Jaw, you know, Strong Jaw Psychic Fangs is stronger than Sheer Force Psychic Fangs, for example, with a Choice Band, of course. Probably even with a Life Orb. Might be wrong. Oh yeah, actually Psychic Fangs isn't Sheer Force boosted, so never mind. Yeah, definitely stronger there then. So that kind of stuff, you know, there's a lot of situations where base Mawile is better. Not to mention you might want to save your Mega Slot for something else. So yeah, Mega Mawile gets 10 at everything, and then plus 60 attack, obviously, with, you know, Sheer Force and Hustle. So again, Sheer Force is literally just like, when you think of Sheer Force, just think of the way that Huge Power used to work, because a lot of moves are Sheer Force boosted now. There's I didn't add the Sheer Force guide. Shit, let me actually do that right now. I forgot that there's that as well. I remember to do it for Hustle, but yeah, I gotta do that for Mawile. Hold on. There's a Sheer Force guide as well, so you can see all the moves that are Sheer Force boosted now as well. And of course, you can always check this out in the description down below. I would highly recommend doing that. There's a very, very, very detailed guide to all of the move buffs and changes. Basically, every single move in the hack is buffed or changed in some regard, so definitely check that out in the description down below. Just quickly change this to colors. There we go, that's better. So yeah, Sheer Force, you can see all those boosted options. But basically with Sheer Force, you have Stab, Hoodwink, which is essentially Fairy type Iron Head. Then you have actual Iron Head for dual stab with Sheer Force. And then you, of course, also get Play Rough, which is also Sheer Force boosted. And then you have tons of coverage, which is Sheer Force boosted, such as even Smart Strike technically is, but you would use Iron Head with Sheer Force because it's 5 base power stronger, and the additional effect doesn't matter. And both of them are TMs or tutor moves, so no reason to switch. But no reason not to switch, rather. The moves around. Yeah, so Sheer Force boosted moves, you have Grass Knot, which always lowers speed, and that is physical. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Fang, Crunch, and Jagged Fangs are all Sheer Force boosted. Rock Slide is Sheer Force boosted. Lunge is Sheer Force boosted. Play Rough, of course, like I said. Wild Charge, Rock Climb, and Takedown are all recoil moves that are Sheer Force boosted, and those are great. Of course, new retyped and everything. If you are the person who listens to these, but also doesn't know the changes, then you might want to look at the video sometimes to see certain things I'm showing. But of course, if you're like familiar with my work, then totally go ahead and just listen. You don't need the visuals if you know what's going on here, and you already know all the move changes and stuff. Yeah, Power Whip, all kinds of great Sheer Force boosted moves. Okay, and of course, Hustle is even better because of the priority, and it's also just a lot fucking stronger. 783 attack is insane. Yeah. There's other ones that are similarly strong. For example, Mega Heracross actually is stronger than Mega Mawile now because it has 190 base attack with Hustle, and he actually gets even more priority moves and priority dual stab. So you could argue Mega Heracross is a better Hustle user, but also different typing. No Intimidate pre-Mega on Heracross, so Mega Mawile is much bulkier despite having lower physical defense and lower HP than Heracross. And also, of course, that typing is really important. Steel Fairy is insane defensively. Oh, Punishment is not fucking bug type. Why is that the bug color? That's my mistake. That as well. So if you were looking at that thinking, why the fuck is Punishment bug type? It's not. That was just an error. Yeah, honestly, just so much awesome shit here. You also have other good utilities. So Aromatic Mist drops the opponent's special stats by 2, which is just an upgrade over Sweet Scent. for utility. You know, Intimidate plus Aromatic Mist plus Parting Shot. I mean, seriously, you can use it as just a super bulky Mon. You don't even need to run that offensive set. Not to mention, Mega Mawile is really strong without any attack investment whatsoever. 180 base attack with no investment. You can run max HP, max defense, or special defense, you know, and then run a utility set with just having strong attacks. Metal Burst is good for totems and stuff. Hold Back is incredible. That also is a hustle move. I didn't mention that one. Sorry. Hold Back is hustle, so it can't miss. It also gives you +1 attack and +1 accuracy, which is similar to Smart Strike. However, it also gives you +1 attack. The downside being it cannot knock out the opponent. However, that's actually not a downside. If you think about it, you can actually use that to your advantage. You can use things like Charm or Befriend, which lower the opponent's attacking stats by 2 each. Different, you know, each one does a different one. Charm is attack, Befriend is special attack. And what you could do is you can essentially click Hold Back 5 times and get +5 attack, +5 accuracy, and then you can use your regular moves. You can use Drain Punch to heal up, which won't miss anymore because of the accuracy boost. And then of course you still have priority moves, which you can't miss, such as Sucker Punch, Fairy Blow, First Impression. Super fucking sick here, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just strong and it's a great Pokemon. Base Mawile was incredible as well. Super tanky, super strong, super great new move buffs, super great new ability buffs. As always, you know, I think you guys have come to expect this. And if you're new here, check out my other videos or look at the Google Sheet in the description down below, and you can see all the other Pokemon, because every other Pokemon is just as amazing as Mawile is. It's really fun and awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody. And I think I'm just gonna leave it out there. Honestly, there's not too much else to talk about. So yeah, thank you very much, and goodbye.